Right, I'm ready when you two cunts are.
Yeah, I've been ready for years.
I don't need to be spoken to like this.
Hi there and welcome to episode 195-ish of the ADHD Adults podcast. I'm James Brown, the anti-limerance. You meet me once and instantly want to see less of me. And I'm joined by the human embodiment of limerance, constantly obsessed with someone. Unfortunately, that someone is himself, Dr. Alex Connor. And of course, Mrs AuDHD, the woman who, like limerance, will idealize you at first. And then after a couple of days, will go back to fucking birding or whatever it is she's obsessed with at the time of recording. Alex, hi.
There once was a man from Leeds who swallowed. Wait, what's this episode about? I've done an actual joke.
I know. Sometimes I actually don't get them, but I get that one. But
it sounds like limerick.
It's very, very you. Anyway, how are you both, Mrs AuDHD first?
I've got a cold, but apart from that, I'm alive. How about you?
Nope. No. And the other one, you.
Excellent, thank you. Very happy to be here with you three, especially P Daddy over there looking like Geordie Le Twat from Star Trek. If you're only listening, he's got one of these.
Third person.
Say again.
Who's the
No. Do you remember Star Trek with the guy that had the eye?
That's
Geordie LaForge, I think his name.
Should we start again? Because Alex, you said
thanks.
Did I say
yes. You three?
Yes, that's why I was saying who's the other one, and you said Data, okay. And I was like, "There's only yours here."
Data
there isn't another one.
Data wasn't.
You said the one with the eye.
He's Geordie LeCunt.
What? I don't know what's happening.
Let me. Okay, there was a cat. So for people who aren't watching on video, I'm wearing the device I use that electrically stimulates my brain to help me with my mood. Alex rightly thinks it looks like Geordie LaForge from Star Trek The Next Generation, called me Geordie LeCunt, and Sam somehow thought that was Data, the robot from Star Trek The Next Generation. We've done some bad starts to podcasts.
We have done some bad starts.
We've done some bad starts, but this takes the fucking biscuit.
That's amazing. Oh, man. We're bang in the middle of ADHD awareness, but luckily, if you wanted evidence, that probably was it. And what that means is that companies will be gleefully pretending they support us while HR tell us to hyper-focus on getting our accounts in on time. And book sales are something. That'll do. I'll phone
we should mention, by the way, hi Murray. We should mention this just quickly because there was a deal on Amazon for ADHD Unpacked, but because I was a bit poorly and didn't notice the email, it was a 24-hour deal where it was 75% off. I only put a story up with 4 hours to go of the 24 hours saying, for the next 4 hours, this book's 25% off. It's like, what a fucking mistake that was.
We are dreadful at this.
Oh my God.
I know.
Yeah, we've missed ours as well completely, I think.
One of whom has sent us a letter?
Yes.
Yeah, may as well.
It's from I've just got to check who. Yeah, it's a Robert from Kidderminster. It says, I listened to your last episode on ADHD and something else. James was actually always bipolar. He would buy anything polar. I mean, sexual. Thanks, Robert. Sounds like it was a bit late in the evening when you wrote that one. You hadn't thought it through.
Down there,
yeah. We've had a real letter. Can I read it out?
Yes, please.
It's from Dom. It says, "Hi, I just want to say a big thank you for your podcast and other resources. I am 49 years old and have often wondered why I am the way I am. Your podcast has helped so many pennies drop that I've booked myself in with a psychiatrist to get assessed. I'm pretty convinced I have ADHD, and just getting a diagnosis will help me to not so much excuse, but rather explain my behavior. Knowledge is power after all. Thank you again, Dom." That's lovely.
It is. Thanks, Dom. Thanks for letting us know. And good. Hopefully, I mean, I don't know when you sent that in. I selected the questions. That could have been 2 years ago. But I genuinely hope that you've been booked in and you've got the assessment and support you need. Anyway,
congratulations on your 65th birthday. That's
very good. Very good. I missed the 49 years old. Anyway, not as usual. This glass of flat Dr. Pepper poured from a 2-litre bottle that's been open for 3 weeks of a podcast is still kind of a tragedy in 3 parts. This bit right now, this bit you're listening to is
This
part
bit.
1. This bit. In
Okay.
part 2, the beige cardigan of evidence, Alex the Psychoeducation monkey
Hello.
will tell us about the science behind the topic today, and then we'll chat about it from a personal perspective in the final part. So, what's the topic this week, Sam?
This week we're going to be discussing ADHD and limerance, a state of involuntary obsession with another person. And that's the end of part 1, which, like Googling, can spiders remember faces you'll regret later. Join us in part 2, where Alex will shoehorn in Star Wars like it's peer-reviewed, and James will lower the national IQ just by existing.
Flawless.
There was a young man from Leeds.
Alex, hi.
Aight. What's up? Hello, Governor.
Welcome back to episode 195 of the ADHD Adults Podcast. In part 2, we'll cover the psychoeducation. Alex, go.
Thank you. Okay, right. We're talking about limerence today. A lot of people have asked for this, haven't they? It's quite a common thing, and I had it as a kid. My mum was genuinely worried about me, I think. Limerence. I said limericks by accident for the first time. Limerence is basically what happens when your brain decides to install a full-time cinema screen in your head that only plays films starring one individual person, your limerence object, and refuses to show you anything else, even if you're late for work. It was a term coined by psychologist Dorothy Limerick. That's a lie. Dorothy Tenov in the 1970s, who described it as an intense involuntary obsession with another person. And that's different from your standard issue crush, lust, romantic love. The defining twist, you don't know if they like you back. And that uncertainty fuels the whole emotional roller coaster. Ready for a boring list klaxon already?
No.
Yes, you are. Core features of limerence are intrusive daydreaming. I hate this one. Constant, repetitive daydreaming thoughts about the person, replaying past conversations, analysing texts like you're doing a PhD on. What did they really mean by that emoji? Extreme idealisation. You see them as the best human alive. Trademark. Conveniently ignoring flaws, your brain has applied flattering Instagram filter to everything about them. Craving reciprocation. So that's deep, painful need for them to feel this. Oh, I hope they feel the same way. If they do, that validates you as a human. And wild emotional swings. Euphoria if they think they might like you back. Gut punch despair if they think they don't. Or if they didn't use enough exclamation marks in a reply to you.
I will talk about gut punch later because it's relevant. Isn't this just love? What is love?
No, that's horrific. Yeah, I would have thought this, I think. No, it's not. It doesn't even have to be. So love isn't supposed to be like, and this, you don't even have to fancy them in a sexual way, but they have to be someone you could imagine being in a romantic relationship with.
Really?
I know. Yeah.
Because I have platonic limerice much more than I do romantic limerice, I think.
Yeah.
Are you saying limorice like you say licorice, Sam?
Yeah, what am I supposed to say?
Limerance. And it's not limerick. Let's just call it whatever we want.
Yeah.
Cormorant. We're talking about cormorants today.
So this is about licorice, and licorice is often one-sided. And can be so intense. It also increases your blood pressure, and I'm not allowed to eat it anymore. I've got distracted by licorice. Limerance is often one-sided and can be so intense it wrecks your focus, productivity, and actual healthy relationships.
And is that kind of it? Kind of it turns on and then it stays, it goes away. What happens?
I'm hating doing this because I don't normally have these ones, and I had these ones a lot, and it wrecked a part of my life, I think. So a bit like this podcast, James, it follows a 3-act structure, usually. And also like this podcast, there's no guarantee it will go away if enough people don't like it. if anything, that's just going to encourage us, the podcast, not limerence, although. So there are 3 stages, another boring list clacks on. Stage 1, infatuation, idolization. Oh my God, they're amazing phase of limerence. Your brain takes a mild crush and hits the turbo button. They're perfect. Even their flaws are somehow charming. Yes, they don't own a bed frame, sleep on a mattress. That's quirky, that is. And then stage 2, or B, as I call it, crystallization. They don't actually turn into crystal jams. I don't know.
You know,
what
you
crystal
can press
jam
your mute button if you're coughing.
Oh,
and-
that's a callback to an earlier conversation. You slag.
off-air conversation. Sam has got a cold, and James said, "If you don't want to sniff on air, Sam, you can press the mute." But he was just saying, "Don't forget." It was a beautiful.
To be
moment.
fair, I was laughing. I can't even remember what you saying, or B as I call it. It made me laugh, and I've got a fucking cold, and that laugh turned into a cough. And now I've derailed the thing, which I criticise you two for. So carry on, Al. Carry on.
Sorry.
B, crystallization. In this stage, it's gone from I like them a lot to my life revolves around them. Every message, every pause in a conversation, every emoji is overanalyzed like you're decoding Cold War spy transmissions. Your mood soars if you think they like you back and crashes into a ditch if they take too long to reply. Part 3, deterioration. I said that right. Shut up. Oblique resolution, oblique dissolution. This is bubble bursting. Maybe they reject you. Maybe you actually get your shit together and it's not what you imagined. Maybe your brain just finds someone new. Either way, the fantasy stops being shiny and starts feeling like a bad purchase you can't return. The stages can play out from a few weeks to several years. Average, about 18 months to about 3 years. It can burn out faster if the feelings are returned. We're great, aren't we? Or if they block you completely.
Honestly, I can't wait for the personal reflections because this is hitting me in the gut like a gut punch, which we'll talk about. But so why does it happen, Al?
James, can you shush? Can you keep your stupid questions inside your stupid head? So you might be thinking, why does this happen? Proper gaslighting, isn't it? So the limerence isn't just having it bad for someone. Your brain is acting like it is hooked on something, and something often not real. Not in the, oh, I really fancy a biscuit way. This is rewiring my reward system kind of way. And we don't always know why, just to be clear. And it will be varied, but, and it's a big but, James, the big play here is around the activation of the neurons of our old friend, dopamine. In limerence, your reward center, it starts firing dopaminergic rockets to other parts of the brain. Probably noticing this is linked to ADHD. That gives you the rush. I need to see the emergency and the feeling that every little cue from the limerence object, a text or a glance, them liking a photo of a dog you posted, is a glittering beacon of importance. Neuroscientists, TM, call this incentive salience because they have to, don't they? But really, it's just your brain slapping a neon sign on anything connected to them. And here's the kicker. Uncertainty makes it worse. Not knowing where you stand is rocket fuel again for that dopaminergic system. Mixed signals, maddeningly addictive for a while. In short, it's not a bit of a crush gone too far. It's a neurochemical feedback loop that can take over your emotional life. Blah.
Okay, and what about in ADHD?
You know,
Did
you
you
can
notice
mute
that
your
through
mic
no
if you've got a
invention?
cough.
Oh, fuck off, the pair of you.
I'm so sorry.
Well, Bob, as we know, ADHD brain, I can't do it today. I'm tired. ADHD brains are basically wired to go, I really want to tell you about the racist abuse I got yesterday from a stranger at the door who tried to get into my house, but I'll tell you later. And it's deregulated all of my existence. I'm dropping and making mistakes.
Wow.
Yeah, awful.
Things
that
like
was
that, your
shouldn't
brain
be-
can't stop going over them,
Yeah.
can
Yeah,
you?
yeah, you shouldn't be in the country if you don't speak German fluently.
That was a good investment I made then. I'll make sure they get good feedback.
As we know, ADHD brains are basically wired to go shiny thing, right? Novel seeking behavior. With people, as well as actual shiny things, we are dopamine hungry. Other neurotransmitters are available, and that means anything that delivers a big dopamine and other things hit, like meeting someone new who make your heart and your phone fluttery light up, can feel like emotional rocket fuel, as we've said already a few times. And limerence is basically an even higher octane dopamine dispenser. Other neurotransmitters are available. So basically, A, new romantic connection, big dopaminergic rush. 2, uncertainty about whether they like you back, even bigger anticipation of uncertainty, bigger dopaminergic rush. Here's the twist, though. ADHD brains don't find hot and cold romantic signals a big no-no. That can be addictive. Intermittent reinforcement, sometimes they text back instantly, sometimes they ghost for a day, is the same principle that keeps people glued to slot machines. It's why those negging Andrew Tate twats do what they do. Instead of winning money or a proper moron, you're winning fleeting moments of attention. And once that loop kicks in, getting out is as easy as deleting TikTok from your phone is, and actually not reinstalling it 3 seconds later. I have got TikTok installed on my phone, James, but I've got a bit of control. And by control, I mean, I don't know how to log into it technically.
I suspected that would be the control.
Literally
that
don't
you've
know.
got. So is it worse in ADHD?
Oh, can be. Yeah.
Do you want to probe a little bit further than that as our psychoeducationalist?
Listen, James, I'm not a clinician. Can you save your dumb ass thoughts? You might be thinking, though, is this worse in ADHD? And it is possible that the emotional ambiguity, I love doing this. I love rephrasing your questions as if you've never said them. Emotional ambiguity, intermittent reinforcement might create these stronger dopamine responses in ADHD, and yeah, probably do. We can crank up limerence to 11, lower baseline dopamine activity that we probably have. We definitely have. We're often on that hunt for stimulation. This is a big part of it, isn't it? It's that novelty seeking. It's why the only superpower of ADHD, if you need a bit of positivity, is curiosity, and that's novelty seeking as well. Limerence delivers intense emotional highs, unpredictable rewards, the brain equivalent of a free sample tray you can't stop circling back to. Add emotional dysregulation to that, add out of sight, out of mind, objective impermanence if you want, add hyperfocus. It isn't always about being productive. Sometimes it's about replaying every conversation, analyzing those texts like they're state secrets, mentally reinforcing and rehearsing future encounters. That was a sentence of syllables you'll never actually have. Impulsivity, we might declare undying love in weeks because we feel it at the moment, then be surprised when the other person looks like they're considering a restraining order, In short, ADHD plus limerence can feel like putting a high-speed blender in your emotional life, hitting pulse, and forgetting to put the lid on.
I enjoyed that. Yeah, 7 out of 10. I think the personal reflections are going to be painful. So we'll be back in about 5 seconds for personal reflections. See you in a bit.
Bye.
No.
Womble's cock.
Womble's cocks. Fucking hell.
Welcome back to episode 195 of the ADHD Adults podcast. We're so sorry. We are talking about licorice, limerence. Sorry, Sam. Whatever Sam thinks it is. As always, for 2 or 3 episodes during ADHD, whatever it is, month, we're taking our personal top tips or something, personal reflections. I don't want to do this because of the apologies I need to make to a series of women and a man called Kevin in my past. So, James, can you do it?
I can.
Your personal reflections.
I can, yeah. I can probably do better than Kevin. First of all, Kevin, I'm sorry for Alex in general. In fact, anybody in Alex's past, I'm sorry for Alex in general. I think most people that have experienced Alex are sorry in general themselves. But getting back to my personal reflections, you may have noticed, guys, I've just deleted the fact that it says heart rate variability and supraventricular tachycardia. Wear a device like Sam's, because I didn't fill this bit in, but I know exactly what I've got to say.
Yeah.
I have experienced this, not frequently, but like word for word. I fucking knew. I
didn't say anything.
I knew what was going to happen when I said this.
What? I missed
I
it.
was doing a shit-eating grin and pointing at myself on
Yes,
camera.
exactly. And
to pretend it was about me.
No, it's happened probably twice in my life, and
Only twice.
God.
only twice. Yeah. Now
Only twice
I have this
today.
thing. I have this thing when I meet new people, I do kind of fall for them for like a day, but not. That's for me. That's not limerence. That's a really quick. Oh, that person's new. They're novel. They're great. Because if you remember, as Alex said in Psychoeducation, the average amount of time is 18 months, 3 years, or whatever. The example I want to talk about, I think, is interesting to me because it was a man. It wasn't a woman, and without naming the person, there it's in the script, guys. Don't without naming the person. I don't know if you guys can remember the story of when I listens. This is shat myself because I was punched in the stomach by a friend. We were like play boxing. It's that person. And when I met this person, just a fucking lovable guy. I'd wanted to meet them for ages and hadn't got the chance. And then when I got the chance to meet them, complete chance encounter, we sat down and chatted for 6 hours. And I thought just completely bonded. I thought, oh my God, this person's got so much like shared experience and they're so emotionally intelligent and they're really interested. They're asking me questions. No one asks me questions about me. It was incredible. And then at the end of the night, we didn't swap numbers, but I left my number for them to get back in touch, and they didn't. So for the next 6 months, it was an obsession in my head of why didn't they get back?
Do they know?
Yeah. Did I? Well, yes and no. No and yes. No. More no than yes, I'd say. No, they don't.
It's a good job we don't have an audience of people who can hyper-focus on when you told the shit story.
Yeah,
naming
exactly.
them,
And it
then
doesn't.
alive.
And listen, and it doesn't matter because I don't think this person necessarily did anything particularly bad. But
shit.
in that 6 months, it was constantly on my mind. Why didn't they get back in touch? Did they get that message with my number? And they were like, yeah, actually, I didn't like that person. And I just couldn't stop thinking about it. And then when I met them again, probably 6, 7, 8 months later, and it was exactly the same, like hugely pally and friendly. And I felt all those same feelings. And then we became friends. But this person, had a lot going on in their life, and is probably one of us, I suspect, in terms of inattentiveness, etc. This pattern then emerged of exactly what you described, of getting responses to messages, and then me immediately responding like, "Oh my God, they've messaged back," and responding, and then like nothing, and then I would kind of almost withdraw a bit, like, okay, well, this isn't a friendship, this isn't a thing. And then they'd message again and I'd get all excited.
It's so mean how Sam's actually laughing at you.
I'm not laughing at him. I'm identifying with him.
Yeah.
Yes,
No, which she doesn't often, because I'm obviously Geordie the cunt wearing this head. Oh, I can take this off actually now. Thank God it's finished. And it got to the point, and this is where I don't want to go into detail, but it got into the point where I had to help this person out in a way that eventually kind of damaged me. So they needed help with something, and I helped them over a period of time. We were going to work together on a few different projects, but a lot was going on. And then it went back to I wouldn't call it deliberate ghosting, but the getting a message now and then. And it got to the point where I had to have therapy about it. So when I was really struggling, and I was working with Jenna, my brilliant therapist, and we were talking about issues that I got. This came up. I didn't think it was something worth mentioning, but it came up, and we started talking about the fact that I had this obsession, this complete obsession with validation from this other person, that I needed this other person to validate me. I needed them to show me the love that I had them, and it was genuine love, and I still love this person. And that therapy finally, after probably 2 years, was what allowed me to, I suppose, rationalize and maybe break that link a bit and see that this wasn't a healthy relationship. And whilst I still do occasionally talk to this person, it's not like we've fallen out, but I think realizing that the obsession that I had that lasted well over 2 years, that ended up kind of costing me, was, and I didn't realize this until we started kind of putting this script together, that it was absolutely limerence. It was this immediate obsession fed by the fact that it was this kind of not push me, pull you. Wasn't that in Dr. Dolittle? This kind of, ebb and flow, push and pull communication, show a bit of love and then get nothing back. And the impact was massive, because there were times when it like I say, it was my compass for my behavior, was what could I do or should I do or can I do to get closer to that person. And that was stronger than the limerent episode I had much younger with somebody of the opposite sex. It was so intense. It was kind of scary, and it wasn't sexual, although I would class myself as hetero flexible, and he is a sexy cunt. It was just
That's a brilliant sentence.
It was just this utter obsession and love for someone that I couldn't get out of my head. And I hadn't thought, you're right, loads of people have asked us to do an episode on limerence, and I don't know why I've put off either putting it up the order of scripts that we put together. But in the end, as I thought about it, I realized, that was a massive 2 years of my life. That's me anyway. What about you, Sam?
Yeah, I have this a lot, always have done, still do, all the time. It's usually not that long-lived, and it's usually platonic limerence. I wanted to say limorice again, so that I just want them to be my best friend. But because I'm act like I'm obsessed with them, because I am, that would often be mistaken for them thinking that I wanted to fuck them. So eventually I would, and then it would turn into something that I didn't want. I just wanted us to be best friends, but I was still obsessed with them and still had all of the things that you were talking about. It's just really, really, and I think for me, definitely hyperfocus and that monotropism was massive for me, in that my world just became small, and all I wanted to think about and know about and talk about would be this person, until all of a sudden I didn't. And I couldn't tell you why, but it would just stop. And quite often the other person would still be thinking that maybe they had a relationship with me or something, but it had just fizzled out, and I just got over it. I have it. It would be as well that devastating, when you don't know whether it's returned, that kind of thing, and you're devastated all the time. And because a lot of the time I was being unfaithful, it would then be really difficult that I'm in a relationship with somebody, but would be crushed and heartbroken over this other person that I'd become obsessed with, because I didn't know if they liked me or not. And then my brain would just be like, what is going on? Why can't you're in a relationship? Why are you devastated about this other person that you don't even want to be in a relationship with them? What is going on? And it didn't make logical sense and would destroy me. And then I'm trying to hide the feelings of utter devastation and crushing depression,
grief, really,
from my partner who I'm in love with. Yeah, absolute grief. Yeah. And I'm in love with this person, and they're like, are you okay? And I'm like, yeah, I'm fine. And I can't obviously say I'm obsessed with this person. I've ended up fucking them because they thought that's what it was. And what were you going to say?
Well, I was about to say the reason I can feel secure in this part, when you said, and I love my husband, and they would say, are you okay? I know this isn't when you were with me, because I'd never ask you, are you okay?
Yeah.
Yes, good one. Yes, but it would be, so sometimes it could last for a long time, and other times not. And it's, I get it a lot with, and I feel really bad for this, because quite often I will meet a new person and all I want is them. I can't drink enough of them in until all of a sudden.
I'm sorry. I
Yeah,
am
that's
sorry. Ding, 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 ding.
My
Sorry, yeah.
bell's broken. Meta ding.
That's very good.
But yeah, then all of a sudden I lose interest and move on to the next person. And then they're left thinking, I thought we were best friends and we'd got this bond that would last forever. And all of a sudden you don't want to sit. No, I've just lost interest, mate. I don't know why. My brain has just moved on and I can't. Yeah, I don't know. Anyway, and it happens all the time still now, constantly. And sometimes I'll come home to James and say, I've met this person and I think we're going to be best friends. I love them so much. And they said that they're going to contact me and we're going to go out. And then they never contact me. And I cannot stop thinking about them and Googling them and trying to find pictures of them.
It's interesting. I've got the opportunity now to talk, so you two will listen. It's interesting from the perspective of a partner of somebody that can feel that limerence, because I know it causes Sam shame. And I know that it doesn't cause me jealousy, but when she has this platonic limerence, so you mentioned I'll come home. Sometimes she'll come home and I haven't seen her all day and she'll immediately start WhatsApping the person that she's limerent with. Not like, how are you, James? And she's messaging this person. I'm like, what? Oh, I'm just messaging that person. I'm like, oh, right, okay. And how are they doing? Oh, and just asking them, just telling them about what happened today. And I'll be like, right, okay. So you're not telling me, but you're telling that person.
And I can literally spend a whole weekend talking about them to you, constantly talking over and over. And I'm saying the set because I don't know much about them. I've only just met them, but I'm constantly talking about them and about how amazing they are. And he has to just sit and listen, sometimes for an entire weekend. Yeah, it's bad. I'm sorry. Anyway, Alex, what about you? Sorry.
That's awful.
Yeah, I know.
My mum used to say, "Who are you mooning over now?" So this you're just mooning over people. Pull yourself together. No, this is one where this hurts me to talk about a bit. I had this so much. I don't have it anymore at all.
Oh wow!
And I'm really
how did you make that happen?
I didn't really. I don't know. I've never done what James has done. I've never analysed it properly, and I need to. It's something I would really like to do when I'm feeling safe to. Alcohol got rid of it, and now I don't drink anymore. A lot of the things I was self-medicating for have started to come back. This one hasn't. So I do have to check some of the things that. Yeah, so that's a problem. I remember thinking, oh, her facial eczema is so nice. There's no them in the limerence. Whatever they look like, whatever they were, I didn't know them. I had no interest in their actual person. There was no them in it. It feels, with hindsight, incredibly narcissistic. But actually, I think it's kind of it's narcissistic in the way in that it's about ego, it's about I, but it's not narcissistic because it's a lack of self-esteem and self-worth. A lot of people who have a dysmorphia, so people not proper trans people, but people with acute feelings of body dysmorphia that they might be in the wrong body, often in the autistic community, and people anorexic and those things. I feel sometimes I have social dysmorphia. I felt so much that I didn't belong. I was looking for someone to fix it, and all of my limerence was that, I think. So, if they like me, then I'm a real boy. And that was constant. I wasn't of any value, and so I would focus on one person. I'd be mooning over them. My mum and dad would talk about this in a nice way, but they were clearly very concerned by it. They thought I was bipolar. They thought lots of things, and it was a big part of my life. The obsessiveness. It was about stuff as well. The hyper focus. I've always had it. I'm a pretty intense person generally. But it was strong, and I knew, like you, Sam, you hit the nail on the head. My brain's going, that's just fucked up, and my emotions don't care; they're overriding it, and that's horrible. I think it affected my parenting a lot as well, because I was expecting this from my kids who haven't had it, and because I talk about all these things, they're often like, "Yeah, you were weird," which is a relief but I think I was trying to head it off, and it was never going to happen with them. But that's what you do, isn't it? You mess them up. It's a really horrible it's a really horrible set of reflections to have felt like this. I think that my own sense of peace, my own sense of my peaceful wildness, James,
Fuck off.
led to me focusing on people to cure me, to fix me, and they were never going to. Overcoming that alexithymia of, okay, what am I feeling? I'm getting it wrong. When I got married to Lisa, we had never lived in the same country. Mad. And I was certain that when we lived together, everything would be perfect. And before she moved in, I thought that that was true. But about 2 years before she moved over, I got a job with the University of Birmingham that was perfect for me. They wanted the real me, not a fake me. And
Why?
that, yeah, no, I don't know. It was weird. And suddenly I had comfort zones that weren't Lisa moving in one day. And I was happy. And when she moved in, it was far better. And that's always been the case. But I realized that I'd been projecting her. I'd expected her to cure me of other things wrong. And when you've got ADHD or my ADHD, it's everything's wrong all the time. I'm just always in a state of I'm wrong. And so rather than looking for someone to cure me, I had to fucking emotionally accept what I was. And that's the worst part of any of this because it takes work. Awful. So that's it. My top tip is bit of emotional acceptance, blah, blah, blah. That's it.
It's really interesting that just your reflections, because the reasons for yours are completely different. For
Aren't
me,
they?
it's all about them.
Yeah,
It's
mine are
really
all about me.
interesting.
Probably no surprise.
I think it's different. I can't say enjoyed, but what I really took from that, because you're kind of open and vulnerable, is the fact that I am rock hard right now. I am.
Oh, incidentally, Kevin, by the way, is the lead singer of a band called Jazz name's Kevin Hand, and it was a local band. And I loved it. Wasn't in any way romantic, but God, I wanted to. He used to sit in his flat window outside Uttoxeter playing the guitar with the window open. With hindsight, that's embarrassing. But at the time, it wasn't embarrassing. He was dead cool. God, I wanted to be him. I won't name him though.
That's the thing, though. Looking back at some of the people, I'm like, what?
He was objectively.
Like, what did I actually see in that person?
Yeah. It was entirely. No.
Yeah. And it's just, that's the thing. It doesn't make logical sense. Anyway, I know we can't dwell on this. The tip is don't have it. Or,
don't have ADHD.
If you have it, name it. Just name it openly to everybody. Yeah.
Talking to you two about this is so freeing. It's unbelievable that we're lucky enough to, and we started recording it, but we used to do it before, right? Probably less, but having people in your life where you could laugh about the things that cripple you, they thrive in the darkness and the lightness shines on them, and it's like it can fuck off. ADHD can fuck off when you're laughing about it.
Yeah, it's such a difference now being able to come home to James and know that I'm obsessed with somebody, and for him to go, oh God, are you going to talk about today? And we just laugh about it. Whereas with my ex-husband, hiding it all and all of the shame and the eating me up inside, it's so much better to be able to talk openly about it.
Agreed.
So I'm still the better husband. Is that the take home from this whole episode? Is it? Yeah.
Well, I'm still with you.
Yeah, I won the eyes. Have we got time for a game, Al?
Let me just check. No.
Well, you're wrong. We have. We'll have a quick one because I wrote it this morning. I'm over at Mum's because if you remember, selfishly went blind a few months ago, and she's also selfishly got a chest infection this week. So I've been poorly, and I know it's just exactly, Alex. And whilst I recently, for the first time, printed and laminated my packing list for when I go away to do little talks and to visit Mum's, I was a bit poorly, so I didn't really pack properly. So I'm currently either, Alex, A, wearing Sam's socks because I didn't pack the right socks. B, wearing Sam's pants because I didn't pack the right pants. Underpants, yes, not like working pants. Or C, wearing Sam's t-shirt because I didn't pack the right t-shirts. I've got a jumper on, you can't see.
Oh, shit. Right. Oh, that's good. I don't think it's t-shirt because all of Sam's t-shirts say Thatcher was a twat or whatever. and it's confusing. The problem is, I don't think it's pants, because now I absolutely hate this fact that Sam's really like healthy.
Annoying. Yeah.
That awful. So I think you're wearing Sam's socks despite the fact she's got small feet and they must only go over your toe. It's got to be that one.
Yeah.
Something Dracula.
She hasn't got small feet, mate.
She got great big. Is it like 2 golf clubs?
Monster feet with extra bones.
It's that then, right?
They're freakish. But you're wrong.
Yeah, thanks. Everybody called me a golf club at school. Thank you.
Did you love them for it? Were you limerent towards them, Sam? No, I'm wearing her David fucking Bowie t-shirt, which I packed because it's grey and I've got grey t-shirts, and then it's the only fucking clean thing I've got. So I'm sorry if I've stretched it, Sam. But yeah,
that's okay.
Can I just add something I've forgotten to say?
Yeah.
There's a singer, and I'm going to find her name and I'll put it on Instagram. But she's brilliantly pointed out that butterflies in the stomach are not a healthy sign. We talk about it in books and films, but actually, if someone makes you feel safe, that's real. That's real. If someone makes you feel afraid and nervous, have a think about why that is. And if it's limerence, then it's something to do. If it's them negging you, because narcissists can use limerence against us, remember, then have a word. Butterflies
I
is not.
don't know what negging is. You keep saying that. What is negging?
Oh, being negative about someone to attract them, to create that uncertain ambivalence that we've just been describing.
Do that on purpose.
That's what Andrew Tate is.
There was a book called The Game, which was very popular, which I read when we were on holiday, and it was about a plain-looking man who used magic and negging to apparently sleep with thousands of women, and then taught other men how to use negging. So don't give someone a compliment, pick up a minor criticism, and then that will draw them towards you. Yeah. Anyway, this was an episode on negging. Apparently, negging.
This is the shittest delivery you've ever done, James. Come here, get a kiss.
It is. Right. Yeah, well, that's it. So that was episode 195 of the ADHD Adults podcast. Remember, you can buy the book, which we haven't been promoting. Sorry, Marie. ADHD Unpacked, which is at the minute, I worked out with my maths, because it's like 1,000th on like the Amazon's all books list. And there's like 3 million books. I make that in the top 50 percentile.
Tell me when you tried to do the maths, what you texted me this morning.
I texted this morning. I texted you saying, can you do the maths as I'm thick? It's 1,188 out of roughly 3 million. Then I said, I make it 18% or 12T. Scholars are split over this because I couldn't work it out. And you can join us on Patreon for other stuff that we do and things. See you next time, etc. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye all.
Trigger warning, klaxon. Klaxon. Big klaxon. No. Trigger warning, klaxon. Klaxon.
This one actually is very appropriate because very recently I had my medication review with Psychiatry UK, and I completely fell in love with the person that was doing my medication review. James was trying to get me upstairs to the appointment, and he kept reminding me. Upstairs is where I was going to have the video link appointment. And he kept reminding me to take my passport, but I couldn't go until I finished the row of crochet I was doing. And James was really, really panicking. He realized that he panics whenever I've got to do anything like that. And he kept saying, how long are you going to be? And I'm like, I don't know, hopefully about 5 minutes. But if I'm being honest, I literally have no idea how long it's going to be. But James was really, really stressed. But I got up to my computer 3 minutes before I was due to have the appointment, and then realized I couldn't remember my password to get into the portal, and then I had to log on to a different computer, and it was all really stressful, and I had to turn on my work laptop, which I didn't want to turn on because I didn't want to get back into work because I can't stop doing it at the minute. And anyway, I then realized that they'd actually sent me the link in an email, so it was fine. I actually joined within a reasonable time, and as soon as I joined, I proudly showed them my passport because I'd actually remembered it this time, and they they acted like I was a little child. That's really loud, Alex. They acted like I was a little child, and they were going, that's really well done for remembering your passport. And they praised me like a child, and I'm not sure exactly what happened, but before I knew it, I was in love with them, and I couldn't stop talking about them afterwards, James, and I still love them now, and I keep Googling them to find pictures of them. The end.